folks, this is IO-Ether, and we're back with some more World Tanks. So, as you can see, this is Bartek72 in his KV Fortress, and we recently had another KV4 game, so I've decided that why not, let's put another one out and see what a KV4 can really do. So of course, our last game was with Thinking Cashew, and he did amazing, so I don't expect Bartek to be any less amazing, but I did just want to get another KV4 game out around the same time. However, first, let's change these to something that's helpful. I have no idea why Wargaming thinks it's helpful to have names up there instead of tank types. Because I totally don't care what your name is as long as I know what tank you're in. Unless you're a friend, in which case I kind of care what your name is. Tum-tums. Anyways, before we actually get into the gameplay, if you do want to talk to me, Facebook, Duxer, and Twitter links are all in the description below. My Twitch streaming link is also there, and if you want to see when I stream, it will be in my Twitter feed. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. If you want to support the channel, the best way by far, like always, is to like any videos you enjoy. And if you want to support me directly, my Patreon account is in the description below. So, that all being said and done, again, I'm going to have to apologize for the minimap. This is some sort of replay glitch that's screwing up the minimap. In an actual game, that works perfectly. I don't know. Anyways. So Bartek has made his way into the city, for which I am eternally happy. I have seen too many heavy players push up towards, like, say, this middle part, which is not where a heavy tank should be. This part, the city is where the heavy players need to be on this map. The 1 and 2 lines are more for mediums and tank destroyers. We don't actually have any tank destroyers on the team. Wait, what? How did you drown? Where did you drown? I'm just gonna pause this for a sec. Where do we lose a Tiger 2? Oh, what? So that, if you haven't spotted it alright, is our Tiger 2. So, I guess he decided this battle was lost, or that he didn't care anymore, and instead of just exiting, which would blow up his vehicle anyway, he drove off a cliff and into the water. Now, yes, it's possible that he was trying to get round back here, because there's, if you go right back to actually K0, you can actually sneak under this bridge and around that corner, and then you can sit up back here and nobody can hit you. It's a decent spot for artillery. If you're fast, you can get back there and do some actual work in the game. And when they try and hunt you down, you can shotgun the first guy who comes around that corner, and if you kill him, no one else can pass because there's a wreckage in the way. It's fun to do, and as the last just ditch effort, it's definitely possible. However, you will never win a game against more than one person that way, as what do you have to, you know, I mean, once the path is blocked, that's stalemate forever. So, I don't know why he was up there. There is no sound reasoning. I'm gonna call him crazy and go back into the game. So our Tiger 2 has committed suicide, for whatever reason. That was a good snapshot. I'm not gonna call that an aimed shot, even though he did kind of look like he aimed. Because of the fact that he didn't scope in, he had a high probability of missing that shot. However, he managed to not miss that shot, so it worked out quite well. That will never penetrate. Okay, so I know Bartek probably knows this. Some of you may not. There's this little corner. There's this little triangle right here on IS-3s, IS-6s. Quite a few Russian heavy tanks have this. You never ever shoot this. This is spaced armor, and there's absolutely nothing of the tank behind it. The angle, this horizontal, this diagonal line here is actually the outside armor of the IS So over here, this is tank. This part here, this is not tank. You shoot that, your shell goes straight through the little bit of spaced armor here and will come out the other side, doing no damage. Never ever shoot this. If you're shooting from like over here, sure, maybe, but you're gonna hit this 45-degree angle sloped armor and likely just ricochet into the ground, waste your shell. Shooting at this part here will never get you what you want. Shooting at this part, maybe, depending on your angle. Bartek is doing a really good job shifting backwards and forwards. So far, the only real solid hit... Ooh, sorry. It's early in the morning here. So far, the only real solid hit the enemy has gotten on him has been his observation port. And that only blinded him temporarily. Now, unfortunately, a damaged viewport isn't going to help him very much. So one last note about the IS-3's armor. Be careful where you shoot it. Bartek is punching through a heavily sloped part of the IS-3's armor. And if you're in this, unless you have a very punchy gun, most likely from this angle, very few other tanks are going to be able to pen that particular spot. Now the KV-4 has a very, very punchy gun. What's this pen? Yeah, 227 at tier 8. That's not bad. It's actually quite good. So that particular part of the IS-3 you don't want to be shooting at unless you have a punchy enough gun that you're dead certain you can go through it. Otherwise you will just bounce off harmlessly and look silly. And nobody ever wants to look silly. So at this point in the game, you notice the XVM stats over here, except for one T-34 and a KV-A5. The rest of the ones who have died on our team are not the best players in the world. Now, I'm not going to say they're oranges and, of course they died early and all that crap. I've seen oranges and even tomatoes carry entire games. It's not the point. The point is, this is how it tends to work out. In most games, the players who aren't quite as experienced in the game rush in and die first. Whereas the better players, the more experienced players, know how to use their tanks better and know how to survive longer. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many kills you get. Okay, it matters a little bit how many kills you get, but it doesn't matter if you do a whole bunch of damage. If you die in 30 seconds, you're not of value to your team anymore. Your team will likely lose the game if you die in 30 seconds. Especially when you are one of the best players on the team. Now in this case, Bartek may not be one of the best players on his team. He is probably 2/3 the way up that board. There is a... Are they a platoon? They are. Okay. Yeah, there is a platoon of blues here who are very skilled at this game. Why are you not... Okay. This is going to be a question for Bartek. Why, how is that? Almost 500 meters away, why are you not scoped in? I mean, I know you made the shot. I'm not going to question that you made the shot, but why are you not scoped in? Just answer me that in the comments, please. You really should be scoped in for this. If that IS-3 moves even a hair, these shots will miss. Yeah. There we go. And now he understands that he's only shooting at the top half of an IS-3 because the bottom half is blocked by terrain. And that's the kind of thing you can't tell by being scoped out that much. So that means that first shot was incredibly lucky and just happened to go in exactly the right spot. Because when he scoped in, he realized he couldn't see anything below the halfway point of that tank, which really means that he can only see the top part of the engine deck and the turret of the IS-3, and that's a horrible spot to be trying to shoot at an IS-3 from. And this is that poor IS. That was a great spot because he had the entire side of the IS and he could just punch around straight through it. Unfortunately, of course, for the IS, that meant he was instantly dead. Aww. IS-6's round got there first. May have actually been fired. Ooh. Fired first. Now T-34 was... Oh, there's the T-34. So T-34 we know has just fired. Actually, apparently he fired a lot sooner than I thought he had. So he reloaded in time to fire another shot at RLO, is it? Nope, that's another IS-6. Ah, there was 2 IS-6s on the team. Oh, I failed to notice this. Mostly because I was paying attention to the enemy team. Okay, I'm going to pause this one more time. I swear this is total last time I'm pausing it. So I want you to note something. First off, IS-6, KV-4, low FCM. Where is our Comet? Huh. So, okay. So we have 4 of our tanks that can all focus fire on these 2 enemies. These 2 enemies are not likely to live very long. Now our Comet is probably over here somewhere. He may be over here, but I'd bet more likely he's over here. The reason I'm betting that is because he's not... I can't see him on the board, which means that he's not in communication with these 4 tanks, which means that he's far enough up the board to not be able to talk to this IS-6, which puts him over here maybe. Potentially he could be up there, but the likelihood of him getting behind the ARL is very unlikely. So he's more likely up here, because either the ARL or the Comet would be dead if they got into a fight. Anyways, so I guess the point I was trying to make, which I guess I didn't, was that I'm so glad that our team is sticking together. I was mistaken. The Comet was in fact under the ARL, which is why we couldn't see him. Okay, so I like the fact that our team is sticking together. It means that they're going to be more effective. The enemy team spread out, mostly by the fact that the ARL didn't want to push up with the rest of his team, and that led them to their death. If they'd stuck together, yes, they probably still would have died, but they would have done a lot more damage to us first. And if the Comet had tried to take on the ARL with his buddies next to him, Comet would have been vaporized. I need to keep that paused because this is, of course, the end of the game. That was a brilliant game. Almost 7,000 experience for that. Now, of course, this was with a ×5. However, it was without premium. So depressing, because with premium, that would have been 10,000 experience and 82,000 credits. The number of people... Wait, what? Oh, right, because he fired at the SU-122-44, but the shell didn't connect in time, so he is on his board. It's kind of a silly thing. I hate having people that are on this board, but you didn't do anything to them. It's irritating. But anyways, everyone else he put damage into, except for, of course, the VK, who he spotted 135 damage onto. Everyone else, he did spine damage and everything else. Now, most of these spine damages are because he took tracks off. Both of these are because he took tracks off and then people shot them for little bits of damage. And the IS-3, I think he actually lit the IS-3. Interesting. Good to know. Oh, I failed. My bad. Ace Tanker, Fire for Effect, Bruiser, Confederate Medal, and of course the High Caliber. Now he earned the Confederate one. Yeah, I guess he barely earned the Confederate. I was thinking that he had a lot more than 7 hits on non-destroyed targets, but yeah, that definitely worked out. top of his team for experience, the Comet coming second, and the Comet definitely was a key part of that victory. Now, notice how I said earlier that Bartek was probably not in the top, or probably wasn't the best player on his team. He's not technically as far as his stats are concerned. But in this particular game, our blue platoon did very little in comparison to the rest of our carries, who definitely put in a lot of work. So it just goes to show you that just because somebody's stats are blue, or purple, or even red, does not guarantee that you know what the outcome of this game will be for them at that time. 24 shots fired, 15 penetrations, and 4,000 damage dealt. 4,300 if you want to be more precise. And of course, a little bit of damage blocked by armor, just enough to keep him alive throughout that battle. And even some spotting damage through tracking and whatnot. Great game. Thank you very much for sending it in, Bartek. I will see you all next time. This is IOE Threat.